30 minutes of power.
What's going on, everybody? I am Jory O'Neill, and I am super excited to have you here with me on this webinar. Listen, I've tried twice to invite people live to do this webinar with me, and for whatever reason, Calendly doesn't want to do what it needs to do. So I'm gonna have to jump ship from Calendly and allow Go High Level to take care of all the bells and whistles and the parts and the pieces. So first off, welcome. Thank you so much just for clicking on this video. Super, super excited to have you here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to record my webinar and then I'm just going to randomly share it on multiple platforms because I feel like the information needs to get out there. So whether you signed up, you didn't sign up, you're in for a treat. Um, Hello, everyone. I'm Jory O'Neill, 11-time published, 2-time best-selling author, 1-time international selling author. I am the co-owner of the One and Only Publishing and the co-founder of the One and Only Agency. We help entrepreneurs bring their frameworks and ideas to life by creating assets that we publish so that they can continue to sell on repeat, whether that's a book or a website. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the book. All right. So I'm going to cut through a little bit of the overwhelm today. I'm recording this at 7 p.m. on June 30th. All right. Just so we're all on the same page. I started doing this webinar. Let me give you a little backstory. I started doing this webinar like 2 years ago. And I initially started it because I was part of a mastermind, and that's what they said that you should do. So, I'm part of this. I'm paying for this education, this knowledge, and so I'm doing what they tell me to do. Uh, and so I ran it for 2 years, and that was how I got my clients. That's how I build up enough clientele to actually leave my full-time job, right? Running these webinars. And I want to say maybe around June, once I met Mimi Mulugeta, co-owner and the founder of the One and Only Publishing. And it was serendipitous how we met. I interviewed her on a podcast. Long story short, we now co-own a publishing company together. I oversee more of the ghostwriting, the editing, like writing portion, and she's more operations, background, all those amazing things. So, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that I didn't get here by accident. I've been working and teaching and training people for over 2 decades, specifically in how to package their story, mainly with students, right? Working with between college and late high school students. How do I share my stories in interviews? How do I present myself? How do I create assets for myself that last past me, right? Starting legacy projects in multiple schools that I've worked at. So this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in this seat talking to you right now about what it is that I think you really want to do and exactly why you may have not been able to get it done yet. Now, this is going to be a straight webinar. I'm not cutting, there's no slicing. This is just straight me sharing, giving straight game. All right. So I want to make sure that we leave here with no guessing, no overthinking on what your book should and should not be. But I want to start somewhere a little different than I usually start because the ground underneath us all has shifted greatly with this resurgence of artificial intelligence. And I call it resurgence because Google is artificial intelligence. And so I think ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity and all these different places, Copilot, Gemini, they are just a resurgence of a variation of learning language models. And so I want to share this quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. It says, "One must have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." We are still living through the biggest creative shift in decades. AI is here whether you love it or not. You could fear it, you could feel it, you could bury it. It isn't going away. So the question for writers is not how do we stop using it to produce? It's how do we use it within our own creativity? so that the work that I create with it becomes what I want to carry, right? So, how do we get this tool to help carry and translate depth, truth, and voice? That's the thing that only you can do, right? AI can't do that, only you. And here's the good news, and it's the whole reason that I feel like I am perfectly positioned to help you. AI can help you create order, but it cannot create your dancing star. We need that human element of chaos to create that. That part is still yours. Still yours. And that's exactly what we're going to protect today. So, what we'll uncover during our time together, see if my slides work. There are three things, and like I said, I've been doing this webinar for over 2 years. I stopped about a year ago because I realized that sometimes information is overwhelming. Giving you too much is overwhelming. So instead, I would like for this to be an opportunity for us to engage with one another. There's a workbook that actually goes with this webinar. Whatever platform you're on, there should be a link in the description or in the chat or in the comment section that'll take you to the link. Um, and it'll take you to the workbook so that you could do this with me in real time. So give you an opportunity to go ahead, scroll down, go find it, click it, open it up on a secondary screen because I want you to be here and I want to walk you through this. I want us to do this together. All right, so there are three things that I have learned over the last 6 years. There's story, there's writing, and then there's the next step, right? There's sharing. Unlocking the message that only you can tell, that's the story part. Getting it out of you with ease, using your voice first, that's the writing part, right? I'm gonna put bunny quotes up, the writing part. The next step to get support, real support, so that you don't stay stuck. Um, that's clarity. And that's honestly what my webinars are for. My webinars are for you to get clarity, for you to see exactly where you are, why you're stuck, and then what's next. What's the next best step to get your book done? All right. So, again, I'm Jory O'Neill. We're going to jump right into it. Before any strategy, I want to be honest about one thing. Um, and I wrote this in a post recently on LinkedIn. Your story matters. If I had one thing to say before the world ended, everything went away, it would be that your story matters. I was on a podcast earlier today, and the host asked me, he says, if a meteor came and struck Earth and everything ended, what would be the one thing that I would want people to know? And it's that your story matters. And ironically enough, the webinar when I was doing it was called Your Story Matters. And right now, there's a sharper edge to that question. The internet is about to flood with books that sound polished and say absolutely nothing. Generic is easy now, which means the rare and valuable thing that people will actually pay attention to is a real human voice that has lived something, right? It's been through some things. And that's you. So your story is no longer just nice to share. It is your edge. Um, and one of the things that I enjoy most about being able to help bring people's stories to life is that I get to hear them firsthand during the interview process, during the questionnaires that we send the authors, during the intake and onboarding. I get to hear these stories. And I've heard amazing stories. Um, and one that comes to mind, honestly, that I know full well AI could never write, is a book that's actually about to be published by an amazing author. She's a podcast, she's an entire following, Facebook community, all the things. And it's the story of resilience, a story of a woman who, when everything else was falling apart, including her health and her marriage, she still said yes, right? Till death do us part, she still said yes. Um, and relationships are very touchy for people, but the resilience that she had to what she committed to, not for man, not for her children, not for, vanity metrics, not for whatever. It was her own internal values that led her to say yes, and it transformed both her life and her children's life. AI can't write that. AI can't come up with that. That's your unique positioning. So I want you to grab something to write with. Before you can prompt anything in AI, um, a page, a person, you have to get quiet enough to hear what's already true in you, right? And one of the things that I shared on the podcast is one of the first steps is honesty. So I want you to take a breath, and I actually want you to do this exercise with me. Like I said, my webinar is there for clarity. They're not for content. They're not for copy. They're not even a sell, to be honest with you. I have a call to action at the end, but the call to action is really just to give me feedback on what you thought of this. Did it resonate? Did it land? Did it help you move forward? I am no longer in a classroom, but I will forever be a teacher, and I always want to know if my students are doing well. I think caring for your clients, caring for the people that you're here to serve, that you're meant to serve, um, I think that's probably one of the best sales tactics, right? Because it's genuine, it's honest, it's true. So I want you to answer these questions. And again, like I said, I don't do this. I don't ask people to come to a webinar and then record the webinar and then just put it online. This isn't something I do, but I felt compelled to do it. And like I said, I've been having some tech issues with Calendly. I need to figure that out before I ask you to book a 15-minute coffee chat with me to share with me how you receive this webinar. Um, but I would love if whoever's on the other end of this, if you got what you came for. You clicked this video, you scrolled past it, you saw it, posted, and you were like, I'm actually going to stick around because I kind of need this, right? Um, the three things we'll cover again. I'm really, really honored to be able to help people get past themselves. Publishing is difficult. It's very overwhelming. There's a lot of choices. One of the gifts that I have is making the complex simple. So I want us to take a beat. The slides might be out of sync with what I'm saying, but I really are more concerned that you're hearing my heart than you're looking at the slides. So one of the first things I would love to do is ask these questions. These are prompts, and these literally are the same prompts that I ask every paying client. Same ones. And like I said, if you click the link below in the description or the comments, it'll lead you to the workbook that goes along with this webinar. Here are the questions. I'm a visual learner, so I want to make sure that as I say them verbally, that they're on the screen. So take a breath. Want you to calm yourself. Put your hand on your chest. Before we write anything, I want you to answer from your gut, not your head. Why do you feel called to write this book? You didn't come to a webinar, you didn't click this video because you were interested in, I don't know, seeing slides. I'm pretty sure you didn't. If you're still here, it's because you need help. The beautiful thing about the answers to a lot of our questions is that it's already inside of you. My job is to help you find it. I believe that God has given us keys, insight, understanding into a lot of things. But sometimes we have all the right keys and we are using them to open all the wrong doors. Let me help you. If you unlock the right door, you'll come to the right conclusion. Why do you feel called to write this book? And the second question, I think, is just as important as the first. What is the transformation you want your reader to walk away with? If you can answer those two questions, then you're ready to write your book. I know, I know. No, you're kidding. I'm not kidding. If you can answer those two questions, then you're ready to write your book because you know the why, so you have your motivation, and you know the who, so you can serve them properly. So I want you to do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn, I want you to write in the chat the one word or phrase that captures your book's purpose. Is it to heal? Is it to help? Is it to share, to spur on, to motivate, to encourage? And then who? Who is that person? What is the transformation you want them to walk away with? I'm in the process, honestly, of writing my 12th book. Well, technically I'm relaunching a book that I wrote that was super impactful. But I've learned some things since writing it, since releasing it. So cleaning it up, polishing it up a little bit, and we're gonna re-release it in August. It's called Unleash. It's the first of a four-part series body of work that I'm doing. This is the first time I'm saying this out loud, right? So I said it, now I gotta do it, right? Um, the reason that I wrote that book in the first place is because I got tired of seeing, I was coaching women at the time, identity, clarity, and I got tired of seeing them just erase their voice, not understand what their gifts were, not understand how to utilize their gifts, not even feeling like they were entitled to have a gift in the first place. And so I wrote a book to help people find, identify, unleash their gift, right? So that was my why. And the transformation that I wanted anyone and everyone who read it, man, female, doesn't matter, um, was that they understood that they were worthy. They were worthy of not only having a gift, but using it and being of service to others. Not in a self-deprecating way, but in a way that spoke to the humanity of who they were and their confidence in who they were created to be, their purpose, right? So that's my why and that's my transformation. And yeah, a little bit of a shameless plug, but it's my webinar. So what are you gonna do? Ha! All right, so this is something that I have been teaching for the last 4 years. And it's the right now method. Uh, this rule changed everything that I thought about how to structure, uh, like create a book. It changed everything, literally. Um, you see all the letters, so I don't have to read to you. You're smart humans. But write first, then refine it. Never the other way around. If you use AI should not be an editing tool. You should get humans who actually know what they're doing to edit. AI is for refining, not for erasing, for refining. But it has to start with you. You don't prompt or ask AI to write your book. You start with your voice first, your story first, never the other way around. And the moment you let a machine generate your voice, your work goes generic. And in writing, generic is useless. I said it, it's useless. So my whole method is built on that order. I call it the right now method. It's how we get the real you onto the page before any editing tool, any AI software ever touches it. All right, so let's go through this real quick. W, write. Get the ideas out of your head. Messy is allowed. Messy is the starting point. Just talk, right? Retell it. And that part is, okay, I'm getting it out of my head and I'm saying it as if I were, talking to a friend. So the spoken voice is the truest voice. So say it out loud. That's the R, retell it. I is for itemize. Index, sort what came out into key themes, right? And this could either be a thematic book. These can be specific points and areas of your life, right? Depending on what type of book you're writing. Is it a business narrative? Is it a more of a chronological book that's gonna follow this delicious arc around the story of your life, right? So this pain to pleasure, hero's journey type situation. Um, or if it's more business and it follows your framework or methodology, right? And so forth. T is for transcribe. Capture with voice to text or notes so nothing gets lost. You can use devices like Plaude. I would do your own due diligence with apps like Whisper. I'm hearing some wild things in the streets about it. Um, but voice to text, you can use Otter, right? Read, various voice to text capturing. Again, we are not using AI yet. This is still us. We are the writers, we are the creators, we are the drivers. And then E is edit. Now and only now do you refine for impact. And again, if you're thinking about editing your actual book, we need humans. Humans, not AI. All right. But you can use AI in this first round or stage of editing for refinement, not for impact, right? This is the one place that AI earns a seat at the table. It is just there for refinement. Is there a clear way to say this phrase? Do you understand the definition of this word that you use that you keep hearing people say on YouTube, but you have no idea what it means? No, you don't. So let's not do that. Right? So what I would like for you to do, and again, my webinars are all activity. Right? There's no reason for you to sit here. You could sit here and listen to a podcast. No, I actually want you to walk with me, work with me. I want you to take about 30 seconds. And I want you to write your book's core message in one sentence. Brevity is everything. Go ahead. 30 seconds. I'll get quiet. In time. All right, now that we've done that, I want you to share it with a friend. This is your retail step. Say it before you polish it. So I want you to pick up your phone, text someone. Hey, watching this crazy lady's webinar. She told me to write the one sentence that kind of has my book's core message. Girl, I know, right? I'm writing a book. I didn't tell you. Here I am telling you. Here's my book's core message. Here's a transformation I want someone to have. Here's why I'm doing this. Now, two things have happened. If you were able to convey your book's core message in written form in one sentence to another human and they were able to get it, capture it, understand it, you're on the right track. Again, clarity. I want you to be clear. If your core message of your book is convoluted and you're trying to talk to 75 people and help the world and heal the earth, and you're doing the most. Stop it. Clarity. Clarity is kindness. The kindest thing I can do for you is to help you get clear on your book's purpose, premise, and reader transformation. Before you can write it, you need to be able to share it. And if you can't share it simplistically, then you need to rewrite, redraft, right? So I want you to notice that you may have explained your book's core message differently when you said it to whomever you shared it with. The text might have read different than what you initially wrote. The call might have went differently than what you initially said. That's not an accident. Clarity in, clarity out. If you have a vague idea, it gives you a vague book. Even if the words sound pretty, clarity is the thing that makes everything after it work. So knowing your story is step one. Writing it consistently is where almost everyone gets stuck. So let's fix that next. All right. We did this. Look, I'm so ahead of the game, guys. What are these slides for? What are these? Ah, we did this. All right. Writing block breakthrough. Here's the math that's going to help you get this book out in 90 days. And when I say this, people are like, there's no way. Absolutely, there is. I don't take more than 90 days to write any book. And if I do, it's because God tells me to pause. There's no reason for me to. There isn't. Because I know this math. So, the number one thing I hear from people all the time, and I've been doing this for 4 years, and let me tell you, the number of book calls that I've been on. Wow. I mean, Zoom should pay me. That's how many calls I've had with people. Zoom should pay me now. I'm keeping them in business. But the number one thing I hear most often is I don't have time to write. But you don't need more time. You need a better system. And you need to use speed the right way. So here's a trap. Here's a trap. Right. Um, Especially with AI, it can make you fast, but fast has a shadow. It tempts you into cranking out shallow, high volume content that sounds profound and means absolutely nothing. Your readers aren't hungry for more content. I could have come on here and told you what are the metrics and the key indicators of readiness to write a book, what are publishers looking for. You can Google all that. No, the people who need your book, they are hungry for real content. So we use speed to buy ourselves room to go deeper, not to skip the depth. So here's a writing calculator. You check the screen. If you write for 12 focused minutes a day, I say 15. Some people say 30. Get in where you fit in. But 12 minutes, 12 focused minutes a day, you can finish a book in about 83 days. So let's do the math. If it takes you, let's say 1 minute to write, I'm going to say write. It takes you 1 minute to write 56 words, right? Some people are around 87, 120. You can speak 4 times as fast. So the 12 minutes, keep your round numbers. Say you can write 200 words in 1 minute. In 12 minutes, you can write 2,400 words. Now, I can speak 4 times as fast. So I've got nearly 10,000 words in the same 12 minutes spoken. Well, how many words do I need for my book? Depends on the book. If it's a business narrative, you need fewer words. If it's a memoir or biography, you need a lot more words. But either way, once you know how many words you can speak in a minute, you can do backwards math and find out exactly how long it will take you to finish your entire book. I want you to sit with that. 100,000 word book would take me approximately 12 minutes a day to produce that 10,000 words. 100,000 word book would take me 100 days, which is a little over than 3 months. I want you to lock that in. Lock it in. 100 days and your book is done. Some people they don't have that goal, right? They don't have that I can't do 12 minutes every day. I could do maybe a couple days, couple here. All right, cool. No problem. Then you just increase your time. Maybe it's not 12 minutes. Maybe it's 15. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it's 45, depending on what your goal is in terms of getting the book out. But don't get hung up on the numbers. I want you to receive the freedom, the permission you just got to stop making excuses why you haven't written the book. The power of sprints, short, focus, bursts. They're going to beat a marathon session hands down every single time. And it's going to prevent burnout. And I know a lot of you do. You're like, oh, summer hits. When I go on vacation, I'm gonna go take a cabin vacation and right in the woods, or I'm gonna go to the beach in the Bahamas and I'm just gonna write in the sand, and I'm gonna go on a cruise ship and I'm just gonna write. Okay, yeah, maybe, but then you're gonna resent your book. You rush through and bully through the process. All of the transformation that you want to happen in your reader first starts in you. You transform. You're going to help your reader transform. Writing a book transforms you. I'm telling you now, it changes and shifts your identity. And if you rush it, you push too fast, and you don't allow it to take its course. I don't know. I'm old sports buff. Uh, Exercise science major. That's what my master's is in. And just this thing in gymnastics called the yips. And it's all mental. It's just mental block that you get. Routines that you've done multiple times over when the actual competition comes. And it's not just in gymnastics, right? It's in cheerleading. It's in sports. When the actual day comes for you to do the thing, your body goes into fight or flight, and you can no longer trust yourself. I have seen authors crash and burn trying to produce a book much faster than their body desired for them to. Short, focused bursts of energy, not a marathon session. Prevent the burnout, be kind to yourself, and allow your book to do its work. All right. The perfectionism trap. Perfectionism trap. Listen, I've been there. I'm not going to front. I've been there. Where I wanted everything to be perfect. And because it wasn't perfect, I didn't think I could move forward. Um, Messy beats done every time, hands down. That's why the magic is in the editing. And that's where tools help after the truth is first on the page. And again, getting a team of professional editors to look at your story. Professional editors, not cheap people that you can hire online. Like no knock to Fiverr or Upwork, but you need somebody who's actually written a book to edit your book. Just saying, I don't take my car to a mechanic because they went to school for mechanics, but they never touched the car, never fixed the car, but they have all the head knowledge, but they never actually did the thing. No. I want somebody who's put their car together from scratch. That's who I want working on my joint. So just make sure the editors who are touching your book have the receipts to back up what they say and what they claim. All right. That's free game. That's free. So, like I said, I'm gifting you the Talk Your Book workbook, and you should be able to find it in the description or the comment section of this. And it walks you through your why, your goals, your audience, and the transformation that you're after with room to write it all down, right? Use it to lock in your 12 minutes a day. Where's your time going right now? This is what's going to help you, right? So there's a little time block in there, a little time study in there. So here's another prompt. If you had the book, you would see this coming. Here's another prompt. Here we go. And I think one of the things that writing a book has shifted in me is my identity. So, what is one belief you have about writing that's holding you back? I would love to see this. If you're brave enough, I would love to see it in the chat. I would love to see it in the comments. I would love to see it right below the show notes. What is the one belief? What is it that's holding you back from actually finishing it? For some of you, from even starting, share with me. I love to talk to you and encourage you and walk you through that because you're not alone. I've been there. Other people are still there, but there is a way out. And so, one of the gifts that I have is helping people reframe what they got going on. The belief is where you are now, but there's a way that support and structure can change that for you. So you don't need to be fearless to write the book. You just need a system that moves you anyway, despite the fear, that keeps you progressing forward. So let's find out where you actually are in your book journey. This is a live webinar. I play this game, so I don't want to take any shortcuts. Let's play this game. If you are from the 80s or 90s, even 70s, maybe some 2000s, then you've played this game in America called Red Light, Green Light, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do red, yellow, and green. We're going to use these colors to help us rate ourselves about where we currently are in our story. And the journey of becoming a published author, where are you currently? And that's what we're going to look at. So rate yourself red, yellow, green. Here's the first one. Do you have clarity on your book's purpose and the reader transformation? Red, yellow, green. Red is not so much. Yellow is almost there. Green is good to go. I wrote it down when you asked me before. All right. Red, yellow, green. No one's grading you but you. This is a self-assessment. All right, let's go to the right. Do you have a clear, repeatable writing routine? Red? Absolutely not. Yellow? I write most days. I have a consistently space that I can write. Right? I have apparatuses that I use to write, whether that be talking into my phone or using a device like Plod, or if you are a person who likes to write on your iPad or write in a journal, write old school paperback. Do you have a consistent, repeatable writing routine? Red, absolutely not. Yellow, most days. Green, absolutely. And the last one is share. Do you know how to position your book in the marketplace in a way that protects your voice and your intellectual property? I think those last two pieces are key. I have been advising a couple people with regard to traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, self-publishing. And one of the things that this last individual wanted to maintain was 100% ownership of her voice, her intellectual property, her writings, everything. She's familiar with the music business, and if you know anything about the music industry, you can work, you can gig, you can tour, and at the end of the day, unless you're an independent artist, the record label owns you, your records, your songs, right? And you get bits and pieces of royalties. Very similar in the publishing industry. Um, You may want to say something in the book, but it's up to the publishing company to decide whether it makes it in the book or not. You may want to do a book tour, but if the publicist at the publishing company doesn't think you should do it because of whatever, then they're gonna right kibosh it. No knock to publishing companies. I just want to say this, like traditional publishing companies, like I'm published traditionally, like I'm not knocking them. Protecting your IP and your voice are super important because that came from you. And so knowing how to share it, knowing how to market it in a way that still keeps you in the driver's seat, for a lot of people, that's super important. And um, if you don't know how to do it, then you can be writing for 6 years and be in the same place. Real talk, true story, right? So knowing that in advance, are you read? You know nothing about this space. Yellow, you know enough to at least get started and ask the right questions. Or green, you're good to go. You're informed. You're ready to rock and roll. You're just waiting for me to drop a link. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm about to book a call. Let's go publish this book. And I think this one matters more than ever, especially because AI will happily pull from the whole internet and hand back to you your story in its version. Your stories, your client wins, your hard-won losses, those are yours. That's your intellectual DNA. And the part of sharing well is guarding that piece. All right, so how we doing? Mostly greens? If so, listen, why we ain't top yet? You ready to rock and roll? Let's get it. Let's publish. Mostly yellows? You're probably just a little structure, a little guidance. You'll be on your way. And if you're all red, that's absolutely fine. That's exactly why you're here. To get clarity, that's what I promised you at the beginning, so that you know the next best step for you. But real talk, how many of you realized you had more yellows than you thought you did? Right? Right. And I think that's why most people never finish a book. Not because they aren't capable, but because they don't even know where they are. They don't know what they don't know. They also may not have the right support and the right order of operations. So that's it. That's the webinar. My goal is to help you get clear, to give you an opportunity, some time, some space to actually sit with your book, its idea, its form, its function. You just saw where you needed support. Imagine moving every single one of the reds that you just had to a green. Imagine it. What if we were able to move all those yellows to green? And not just you struggling and trying to figure it out by yourself, but with a guide, someone who builds the system with you. And I think that's the beautiful thing about where I sit, where I'm uniquely positioned. I am not a ghostwriter. I partner with people and we co-author. That's exactly why Talk Your Book exists. So 15-minute link is somewhere around here. Go ahead, click somewhere. It's not a sales call. I will tell you that up front. It's not a sales call. It is a private session where I help you pinpoint your next step. You give me feedback on how this was. I help you figure out your next step. Whether that's helping you get more clarity on your story, your writing structure, marketing, like a real path forward. That's the give and take. No pitch, no money's exchange. You tell me, how was this? I'm always trying to get better. I always want to iterate. Help me help you. And here's the promise about how I work with everyone. Um, if there is a way for me to help you, I will ask permission before I share. Always. Time is a valuable asset. And I thank you very much for giving me yours right now. I'm only opening a limited number of these calls. I'm actually moving out of the sales process of a lot of this stuff and putting on my CEO hat indefinitely. So as a like end of Q2 send off, I am publicly posting this webinar, opening up my calendar for the month of July. Whenever you find this, whenever you see it, if it is July 2026, click the link. It'll be open for you. Book a time. Let's talk. Again, it's not a sales call. I really just want to know, how was this webinar? Where are you? And what's your next best step? All right. I think the last slide says something poignant. Book a call. Hey, look at this. Book a call. So that's it. It's not a coaching program. It's not a course that you watch someday. This is a direct path to help you get to a published book. All right. Again, it might not be with me. I have referred people out to other publishing companies to work with other coaches, other editors. I'm not for everybody. I'm just not. And I'm okay with that. But if I can help you get clear on your next step, let's do that. All right. So that's it. That's the webinar. I know. Not too long, not too crazy, not too difficult. Prayerfully, you got some clarity. You know what you need to do next. And if this resonated, book a call. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Tournaments of power.